Hey guys, what's up? So in this video I'm going to use one data raptor transform to filter out the data what we want. So if you are watching my previous video, so we have implemented this HTTP action from where we are getting this weather data. We can see that there are multiple data which we actually don't want. So what we can do, we can use one data raptor transform. So I will drag this after this forecast because we are getting both of these data, the current weather and the forecast weather, and let's name it as transform. So we want to transform the data which are coming from the current weather and the forecast weather. So how we can pass this data to this data after transform? So we have something here, additional input output. So I will add another key value pair, and inside this first of all I will use the current, and inside this what actual value we want to pass is we have to use this merge operator, and inside this merge operator we have to use this current weather. So I will write current weather. So this will pass the whole thing, which whatever is coming inside this current weather as current, and we have to pass this forecast also. So I will use this another, and I will use the forecast, and inside the value I have to use the merge operator and I have to pass the forecast. This way we are passing these two nodes to this data raptor transform. So how we can verify like what the input is going to this transform? So we can go to this preview, and if we will execute this again, so inside this debug log we have something called transform and transform debug. So we have to check the input in the debug. So if we will go to the debug, here you will see inside the input we are passing the current, and we must be passing the forecast also. This must be somewhere here. Now let's go back to this and let's create our data raptor transform. So I will create a data raptor transform and I will name it as transform weather. So this is the UI of the transform. This is slightly different from the what we were seeing in that data raptor extract and that data raptor load, because here we don't have any object tab, because we are not using any object, we are just transforming the data. So we just need to use the formula according to our use and the transforms. Inside the transforms we will be getting some input, and then we will be transforming those inputs according to our use to the output JSON path. So first of all we have this input section. So what input JSON here should be? So we have to go this one, and here if we will go to the preview inside this transform debug, so this is the input for this data raptor transform. So what we can do, we can copy everything from here, and inside this input JSON we can paste all the values here. Okay, so this will be a valid JSON. So whatever things we are passing from there will be passed here. So we can remove the unwanted things from here, like I can see this option I don't want, so I can remove this account ID I don't want, so I can remove this also. This whole data raptor also I don't want, so I can remove this. So now this is the valid JSON, but there are something like this SV. I can remove this set values from here, and there is one more data. These are some data which actually we don't want. So what we can do, we can remove these things from here. So from this comma to the end we can remove this data, and let's see whether it is a valid. So we can see that it is a valid JSON. So whatever data inside this input JSON is a valid data. We can also remove these from here because these things we don't want, and at the end we can remove this last thing, that is the input. We can remove it from here, and at the end we have to remove one bracket. So this is the extra bracket, so I will remove this, and then it should be a valid JSON. So you can see that this is a valid JSON now. So we have our input ready, so we just need to transform them. So here we have one tab, that is the formulas tab. We can have the formula. So let me tell you one thing, like what will be the flow for this data raptor transform. So whatever data we are passing from this integration procedure, so we can see that here we are passing the current and forecast data. First of all, it will go into the transform. Okay, then those data will be available inside this formulas. So whatever we will pass from this integration procedure, which will be available inside this formula, first of all it will come inside this formula, then it will use this formula, execute this formula. Whatever transformation we have done using the formula, that will be executed first. Then those data will be available inside this transforms, so that we can use the transform data using the formula. Okay, and then at the end, whatever output JSON path we will name for those inputs will be transferred to the preview, like whatever data we will be returning from this transform. So let's use the formula. So if we will go to this, inside this remote action, if you will scroll down here in this internal nodes, you can see that they have, because this IP which we are using was already built by the Salesforce team, so they have given some formula. So let's copy this formula from here, and if you will go back to this transform, I can paste this here. So let me tell you what this formula is doing. So whatever data we are passing using the current node, whatever data we are passing from the current weather, it will go inside that current weather, and then it will take the city name. So we are using the merge operator to paste the value, and inside that we are using with the parent node, that is the current, and the child node, that is the city name. So it will take the city name of the current weather, and then it will put the comma, one space, and then it will put the state code after that. So it will concatenate the city name and the state code. Okay, it will concatenate the city name and the state code. And there is another field, that is the formula result path. So whatever input we are passing from that IP will remain there, but this whole thing, whatever data we have transformed using the formula, will also be added to that JSON. So we can name it as current, because this current node is already there, so we can name it as city underscore name. So we are transforming this city name comma state code into the city name, and then inside this IP we have another formula, that is the concatenate, to get the icon from that data. So I will use another formula, and I will use the same formula here, and inside, so you can see that we are concatenating this thing. So whatever data will be inside this current weather icon, it will be appended to this URL. So this is the WeatherBit.io static image icon. So whatever data that will be coming inside this weather and icon, it will be concatenated to this URL. So I will name it as current icon. Okay, and let me add one more formula here. So if I will add one more formula, that is for the temperature. So if you will, let me show you that temperature inside this transforms input. We need to see this inside the forecast. So this is the forecast node, and inside this, if you will see that we are getting some data, and there is min temperature, and date time, and the max temperature. So what we can do, we can use the min temperature / max temperature inside this temperature node. So I'm going to use that same formula with the same formula, that is the concat. So I will use the concat. Once you will write anything, it will show you the hint. So I can use this concat, and inside this, what actually we want the merge operator. So first of all, I will use the merge operator, and inside this there is a node that is the forecast, and inside that forecast there is another node that is the max underscore temp. Okay, so I will use this max temp, then I will use one slash. So to use this slash we have to use the double quotes, and inside the double quotes we have to use slash, and then I can use another comma to put the another value. So what I will do, I will copy this forecast max temp to this one, and instead of max temperature I will use the min temperature. So I will use the min temperature, and inside this I will use just the temperature. So there is one bug inside this, I will tell you after execution of this whole transform. So let me go to this transforms, and inside this we have to use this input JSON and the output JSON. Let's add that manually because we don't have any output JSON path, so that we can match it. So I will use manual step. Inside this input JSON I will use the city name. First of all, this city name. So you can see that we have 2 or 3 data. So what we want actually the formula data. So inside that we have used the current and the city name. So I will use city name, and inside the output JSON path I will use the current colon city state. So this will be used as current, and inside that there will be a city state. For the second I will use the temperature. So let's use the temperature one. So which temperature we have to use? So inside this formula we have directly named that as temperature. So let's use this temp, and inside this one we have to use the current, and then column, and then temp with the Celsius. So I will use temp in Celsius. So this is the second node. Accordingly, whatever data we are getting from there, we have to map it accordingly. So let's use the icon also, because we have transformed that icon. So I will use that icon, which is the current icon. This is what we have named that. So I will use this current icon, and we have to name it accordingly. So I will name it as current icon. Okay, so you can see that we were using this current node for these city state and the temperature, but we have directly used this current icon, so it is coming outside this current. So we can transform the data according to our use. So I'm going to add more nodes to this. So for now I will use these fields only, and let me go to the preview. Inside this preview I have to use the same input which we are using inside this current. So I will use all these inputs, and I will go to the preview, and I will paste it here. So let's see what we are getting inside this response. Okay, so you can see that we are getting this current icon, but that icon data is not available. The condition we are getting, the temperature we are getting, the city state we are not getting, and the high low temperature we are not getting. That's because we have not used the current data here. So inside this current we have one more node, that is the data and the colon. So I have to use that data and the colon. So you can see now, if I will go to the preview, we should be getting that city state. So you can see that we are getting this Roosevelt Island and New York. So accordingly we have to change all this. So after this current, then we have to use the colon and data. This is fine. Then the forecast. So inside this also we have something called data. So we have to use that colon and data. So let me go back to the preview. Now this time it should get all the results. So you can see that we are getting the high low temperature, the city, temperature, condition and icon, everything. So you can see that icon data is already appending here. But one thing you can notice here, that we are getting this high low temperature, I guess all the days, because this was a list, so it is appending all the data which are coming from there. Currently we are directly using this max temperature and min temperature node, and it comes inside that list. Like if the size of the list is 5, so whatever data inside those 5 lists, it is appending all the data. So currently I'm not getting any step how we can use that data. So for now I will use this data, then the bar and the first. So I will use the first node only to get the min and max temperature. This is not the correct way to use, but there is no other option here, so that we can use that. So now you can see that we are only getting 1, and this is only the first value of the list. This forecast should return a list, but this is not returning a list because we have used only first data, because we are using only first data for this high low temperature, so it is not able to differentiate. So in all the nodes we are getting only these fields. So how we can use this as list? So we can go to the transform, and let me add one another node here, that is the description of the forecast. So I will use the description of the forecast. So this is the forecast data weather description, and in the output JSON I will use the forecast, and then inside this I will be using the condition. So after adding this, there will be multiple conditions. Okay, so this will be changed to the list automatically. So if I will execute it again, you can see that the forecast is now changed to the list. But one thing you will notice, that this high low temperature is same everywhere, because we are transforming only the first data of the list, but this condition is changed for all these things. Here we can see that broken clouds, overcast, thunderstorm. So inside this data wrapper transform, we are only using this concatenate and some naming change to this input. So we can have multiple formulas. If I will scroll down and if I will try to add one more, we can see that here we have multiple formula like filter, like if condition. So multiple formula you can use. So try the different formulas and let me know in the comment section like which of the formulas you have used and what is the correct syntax for that. So that's it for this video. In the next video we will be using this whole transform data in one flex card, where we will show the data for the weather. So this is the one flex card where we will be using all this data, and we will be also using this multiple states of the flex card. So for that video, stay tuned to my channel. If you find this video helpful, please like the video and please subscribe to my channel.